for hundreds of years. These two groups were enslaved. Then the Holocaust and the Civil Rights Movement. FIBA, the Fellowship of Israel and Black America.
The word Zachor means remember. We remember that you stood with us during our time of struggle. The history of Israel and Black America has an amazing parallel. When you look at these two people groups, you have one who were slaves to ancient Egypt, and you have another who were slaves to modern America. The Jews, Israel, still celebrate every year the fact that they were enslaved and then they were set free. It's called Passover. When you consider Black America, we too were enslaved. And when you consider the exodus of Black America, they used to sing these, what we call old Negro spirituals, and they likened themselves to the exodus of Israel. In other words, they would talk about Moses, lead your people out. They would talk about the promised land that they were heading to. They talked about crossing over Jordan. They paralleled their problems with the problem of Israel. And when you consider in the mid-1900s, when Jews and blacks found themselves really in a fellowship of suffering, where there were signs that would say no niggers or no Jews, and some even said, and no dogs. It was Jews and blacks who founded the NAACP together. It was Jews and blacks who founded the National Urban League. It was Jews who stood with us, and my forefathers here in this country who marched with us, and they were jailed with us, and some were killed with us. During the 1950s and 60s, during the height of the civil rights struggle, there was a tug for the leadership of Black America. On the one side was Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, the Nation of Islam.
Concerning nonviolence, it is criminal to teach a man not to defend himself when he is the constant victim of brutal attacks.
And then on the other side were Baptist pastors, Martin Luther King Jr., Ralph Abernathy.
Now let me proclaim here and now that I am still convinced that the philosophy and practice of nonviolence affords a more excellent way to improve the inadequacies existing in the American social system.
And so here you had Christians and Muslims, both trying to vie for the heart of Black America. The one group were cursing Israel. They were anti-Semitic. That was the Nation of Islam. The other group, led by Dr. King, blessed Israel. They talked positively about the Jews. In fact, Dr. King marched with Jewish rabbis. And so you have the cursing of Jews and you have the blessing of Jews. And God was very clear. If you bless the Jewish people, I will bless you. God went on to say, if you curse the Jewish people, I will curse you. Black America, to our benefit, followed Dr. King's cry and call. And so as a result of him blessing Israel, God blessed us as a people.
I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.